Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Good morning. Right after Memorial Day. We probably all had a nice 3-day weekend, so we've got a 4-day week ahead of us. And why not start it off with some Cattle Decapitation? It's quite the brutal name for a band. As a matter of fact, they've been requested quite a bit on the channel, but I don't know. Admittedly so, the name was pretty kind of gnarly. I was like, well, I don't know if I'm grown up enough as a new metalhead to listen to something as gnarly as that. But on this new series that I call Twice Baked now, since I don't do first time listen reactions anymore, I want to listen to music before I bring it to you guys so that I can bring some things out in front and then stop in the middle and bring out more finite details if I hear them. One of the things I want to say about this track is it's the intensity of the lyrical content to where we may feel we are as a world and our species is pretty spot on in some of the ways I think it. Maybe not quite as dark and visceral as what they're saying, but I kind of was like, I get it. Because I had to listen, I had to look up the lyrics, in order to understand what he was performing. That's another thing. I have never heard such an incredibly fried out vocals. And here's something, now remember, so I already heard this, so a couple things I want to bring to your attention. Number one, when you listen to the hook here, where it's melodic, listen for the intense fried out left and right doubling that they use in recording technique. And also something else that's really, really cool about this. I was like, wow, that's sick. For something as dark and visceral as I was just listening to, the guitar tones are not this just heavy, hardcore, oversaturated, grindy sound as much as it is really well-defined heaviness. That's all I'm going to say about this. But the rest is obviously up to you. So this is the first time on the channel, at least that I can say. First time on the channel is Cattle Decapitation. Thank you guys for the support like usual. Cup of coffee. Twitch is becoming a big thing. I'm going to be doing my first album review there soon. So here we go, guys. This is Scourge of the Offspring. Scourge of the Offspring by Cattle Decapitation. All right. Oh, I got to start it over because I already listened to it. Here we go. You guys know how I feel about that. Give me the straight number right there. I mean, that is such a ballsy, powerful Devin Townsend kind of vibe in the hook. And what I love about that, especially with what I'm hearing at the beginning of this track, is it's, believe it or not, that hook that has that really super slick just melody vocally that's kind of breaking us away from the intensity and the bowel resonating, vocal performance that's going on, is that gives us kind of like a minute to take a deep breath. And that kind of more that, and I say Devin Townsend in the sense that I don't have a really deep pool of knowledge on how many other bands or, have a particular sound. Super badass thing about this track is they take us through at least 4 different rhythmical riff change-ups before we get into that hook. So at the very beginning, they get us really ripping into this riff, but they're doing some really nice layering with the guitar that's giving us a little bit of what I would call more of the metal ambient, metal ethereal vibe. So while we've got these really super bright, dry, chuggy sounds, they have these guitar patterns that are kind of glowing in the background that are giving us some width and some space. Space. I haven't finished my coffee yet. And space. Once we get into the power parts where we're into the verses, the change up of the riffs happen in such unique ways. Rhythmically, yeah, we can all identify that. But the accent points on some of that are giving us kind of like this meter jockeying, I'd like to say. It's like, well, they're in the meter. No, but they are, but it's in 4/4. But wow, where they're landing on their accents is giving me this other kind of vibe and stuff like that. The drumming is absolutely mental in 6. Not going to say anything about that. That's just, that goes without question. But once again, the lyrical content on this is really tricky. Because I heard this before, right before I did this, I looked up the lyrics on Spotify, and like I said, there's a line to connect, even though I'm not, this isn't necessarily my jam in the sense that it's, something I don't necessarily listen to until you guys bring it to my attention. That's something I've said in the past by other bands that I've been like shocked at with their intensity and the power of their music, but damn, can I identify with some of the vocals in a very unique way. Anyhow, let's go on. Okay, I'm going to bring it back a little bit, and I'll start back before we get in the hook, but this was something unique shift. They gave us those 4 definitive, riffy, super powerful sections at the beginning. This second half, they stayed pretty square to that kind of vibe, giving me at least a little bit more of a time to lock into this a bit more and actually sink in a little more to the vocal performance. And making such a difference with reading the lyrics, obviously. But I like that super cut time. Because especially with the drummers giving us so many kind of like layers of insanity, that at least that is something to just get us into like the core visceral aspect of the performance of the band and the song of itself. So I really dug that. Let me go back a little bit and we'll get into this hook nice and fresh. Not driving terrorist sites, dramatic shift. There was a parasite, humanity persists. What a wondrous life this world of me. Like the stars of the sky, there's so many of us. I need to die like a swarm of flies. There's so many of us. The sound of bees and stuff. I get a little chicken skin. Well, I think I pretty much said everything I needed to about it. I'm sure for those of you who's listening, if you're still here, remember you type in "I'm still here" if you're still here. You know, when I listen to bands like this, I've gotten so well adapted to identifying very unique things about vocal performers that do that squealing, you know, fry part of their voices and stuff like that. But like I said, I would just want to go back. My final thoughts are, you know, that hook that gives me that Devin Townsend feeling. I think a lot of it also has to do with the tone of the voice. You know, Devin Townsend's voice is just insane. And this performer actually, in that tonal deliverance, is firing off, you know, on all pistons like Devin does, to give that just, you can tell when Devin is singing, his mouth is wide open and it's all coming out. It's the same thing with here. It's just all this power and this energy and this like truth behind the lyric vibe. And then finally, I do want to just close up again with the lyrics really quick. I know, you know, the world's going through a lot of tough things. There's a lot of us viscerally that are feeling, man, 9 billion people on this planet. It's like nobody wants to be that guy to say, shit, we need to, you know, but depending on where you come from or what conspiracy theory or whatever you believe in, you know, there's something to be said sometimes about saying, man, there's just too many of us. But anyhow, listen, you guys, thank you for giving me the opportunity to check out Cattle Decapitation. For those of you who'd like to support me, again, cup of coffee, you can go to Patreon, obviously, or you can go on my Twitch and hang out while I play video games. That's right. I'm learning how to play video games. That link will be down below. Remember, if you're still here, type in "I'm still here." You guys take care. Have a great rest of your week. All right.